What is up, YouTube? It's Kingfisher745, and welcome to All Hail the King, Episode 5. In this episode, I'll be bringing you a team-up featuring Pestilence and Death. It's a pretty cool combination, pun intended. Iceman should have no problem getting his Death and Taxes to proc, because Chilled or Death Frost is going to stay on the enemies. And by the way, if you missed the segment where I introduced this team, you can find it on the From the Helicarrier podcast at www.thehelicarrier.com. I will also link the corresponding podcast in the description below, so make sure you check it out. Now in this very first battle, you'll notice a pretty popular defensive team, Quicksilver and Juggernaut. It also looks like they have some pretty nice stats going on, but luckily for us they do have a Scrapper Quicksilver. For once, we're not using an Infiltrator costume, I'm actually using the Empowered Bruiser costume. Then I have Beast as a Tactician, and Iceman as a Blaster. With Iceman's first turn, I usually like to use his level 2, and that's because it's going to put Death Frost on all the enemies. This is Death's version of Chilled, which really helps out his other abilities, including that passive Death and Taxes. We did unfortunately miss Juggernaut, but there's not too much we can do about that. By the way, if you're not familiar with Death and Taxes, it is a passive that's active on Iceman's Horseman of Death costume, and it says Death has a chance to attack when an enemy with Chilled attacks or is attacked. Alright, so let's see who their agent attacks. First he uses the Signpost, and then he's going to attack my agent with the Mystic. It does hit for a critical, but then we do get Death and Taxes. So Death will attack with a Snowball's chance. And there you see it does pretty nice damage. It's supposed to have Cold Snap, so a guaranteed critical hit against someone with Chilled. But this is quite possibly broken right now. I'm sure it's something that they will fix, but for now I'm basically relying on the Blaster bonus, Focused Attacks. At least that guarantees a critical hit and ignores defense. Now you may have been wondering, why did I hit Juggernaut with the Nano Plague? I did it because he's a legitimate one-hit threat. And Nano Plague will prevent most beneficial statuses, meaning he won't gain his unstoppable force or strengthened. As a result, my agent doesn't get hit quite as hard, and we can go ahead and attack normally. So the first thing I'm going to do besides Short Fuse is use the Oblivione. I also was pretty lucky and got a big and fast proc, so I'm able to set up their team with the Oblivione, and then I'll be able to also use the No Mercy. Unfortunately, I did miss their agent, but I'm going to use the No Mercy on Quicksilver. I'm really expecting quite a big hit from this, so let's see how much damage we can do with the No Mercy. Since I only have 3 pieces, it doesn't have a guaranteed crit, but we lucked out and hit for over 250,000 damage. So yeah, that's a pretty sick hit, and even its non-critical hits are huge. It has one-shot potential every time. At least if you're following the Oblivione. I recommend having 3 pieces of the set. I wouldn't mind having a 4th, but I kind of like having an additional slot for something else. Now on their agent's turn, they use the Blackest Void, which is quite annoying when you have Beast on the field. But if you can stick to AoE attacks, you'll be just fine. Either way, I'm going to risk it and use a Jekyll and Hyde, and it does some incredible damage to Juggernaut. So now let's try to end it with another No Mercy hit. Let's see how much we do. Alright, so we end up hitting our own Beast, thanks to Disoriented. Now I'm going to use an AoE attack because I really don't want to hit one of my own characters, especially not with that level 6 with Fatal Blow. Alright, so back to their agent, and it seems like he has mostly a cube set up. So let's see exactly what he does. He uses the Light Fantastic, but he does have Despair, so that doesn't heal him for anything. Now with Beast, I'll go ahead and use Jekyll and Hyde once again, and it's not going to do that much damage, but it will place off balance on him. So there won't be any counterattacks. And then hopefully we do get to finish him with our agent. And even if for some reason the No Mercy doesn't kill him, Iceman will with his level 6. That level 6 of his does have Fatal Blow, so it defeats normal enemies with less than 30% health. But we do get an epic overkill from a 92,000 non-critical hit, courtesy of the No Mercy. Now in this next battle, we're facing Ares and Deadpool. We do get to start with our agent, which is a pretty great setup for us, because we get to use that Oblivione. It's going to put so many debuffs on the enemy team to start the battle. If you want to know my opinion on the Horseman set, I definitely love it right now, especially if you're going to use it with Pestilence. The Oblivione weakens the enemy and puts so many dots. With 3 pieces, the Memento Mori is going to place Death Frost, Doom, and Despair. Then the No Mercy comes in and absolutely obliterates someone. But you definitely do need those dots to stay on someone. So not having Pestilence could be a slight problem. You would probably want to set yourself up, and to be honest with you, that kind of reminds me of a really great idea. Currently I have the Orfrost Mace as my 4th weapon. But what if I were to use the power of 4, and to use the Oblivione, then with the power of 4, take all those turns to wipe out the entire enemy team with the No Mercy? Okay, well you heard it here first, and you actually got to listen in on my thought process. In the next video I'll be trying out the power of 4, and then the 3 pieces of the Horseman set that I have. And I'll run it through several teams, most of them involving Beast, but then characters like Rescue and Heimdall, or maybe someone like Wonder Man or Captain America. So I'll start testing that out as soon as I finish this video. And wow, did you just see that hit? It was a 203,000 non-critical hit. I could only imagine the damage it would do if it crit. Now with Iceman, I'll use his level 9, which is 9th Circle. And since we hit a bruiser, we will gain focused attacks. Then I'm going to use the No Mercy on Ares. I'd prefer it if he doesn't get another attack. So we should do enough damage to where the dots will finish him. Alright, so right after this hit, we pretty much only have to worry about Deadpool. I do have to say he is kind of annoying, but if we get to hit him with Iceman, we could finish him off, depending on what percentage he's at. Ares is definitely going to be knocked out due to the dots, and then we'll get a turn with Beast. Now a lot of people have been complaining about Beast's level 2, and it is quite annoying when he's on defense. But I'll be honest with you, sometimes I don't even use it, because Mind Control hardly ever procs for me. And then even way more annoying than that is the fact that Fumbling is broken. It doesn't even work right. So truthfully, I don't think it needs nerfed or changed at all. At least not until they fix Fumbling. Now here comes another turn for the Horseman of Death. And if Deadpool was a little bit lower on health, I would use his level 6. It does have Fatal Blow, but unfortunately we won't be able to take Deadpool below 30%. So instead I'll use Cold Day. It does a decent amount of damage, and stuns him. And now I'll use the No Mercy, but it's not going to do that much damage. Deadpool has a bad habit of hanging around way too long. I'm pretty sure that once we get to attack with Beast, his Jekyll and Hyde will definitely kill Deadpool. But he does have 1 Resurrect coming. And it's kinda crazy how Deadpool himself can extend a battle for this long. But right after he has to sit out this turn due to a stun, I'll use our level 6 from Iceman, and that will end the battle. This ability is called Freeze is Over, and it does have Fatal Blow. So no matter what, it's over. And now we're going to move on to the 3rd and final battle of the video. It's once again against Juggernaut and Quicksilver. But I included this battle because it really shows off Iceman's resilience, or at least his potential resilience. This team, I can tell you, is definitely stacked with offense. Look at that Quicksilver's blinding punches. It's insane how much damage he's doing. This is before Juggernaut's buffs, so after he's going to be doing crazy damage. My main hope is to use Beast's Masque of the Red Death, and then his level 2 Mind Control, and I was hoping that it actually kicks in for once, because it could potentially save one of my characters' lives. Well, like I said before, the track record for me really isn't that good. It rarely works, but when they literally just changed it, the starting cooled down, so I think everyone got their wish. Honestly though, for me it doesn't change anything about this character whatsoever. Especially not unless they fixed Fumbling, which I'm yet to find out. But back to the current battle. I'm going to use Short Fuse, and then of course the Oblivione. If Big and Fast procs and it gives me a quick No Mercy attack, it can be a lightning fast win for this team. But now is kind of the moment of truth. Is Juggernaut gonna one-shot one of my characters? First, we have to sit through a number of debuffs, as well as his buffs coming up. It's almost like waiting for an execution. We do have a decent amount of dots on him, but he's gonna get off a pretty big attack. It starts with the Surge of Cyttorak, and he has Unstoppable Force and Strengthened. Then we see Fumbling proc, but nothing's gonna happen because it's completely broken. Alright, and he doesn't do as much damage as I was thinking he might. So I'm pretty happy with that outcome. And we do get Oh My Stars and Garters, so we get Epiphany, and our next attack is a guaranteed crit. Now I'm going to use Cold Day, and we do get a pretty nice hit, especially on Quicksilver. But he will hit us back with a tag team, and it does a ton of damage. Like I pointed out earlier, this Quicksilver is on steroids, and sadly he's going to get 2 more attacks, so I highly doubt my agent's going to live. Once again we see a Fumbling proc, but currently that means absolutely nothing. And then look at that damage from a Blinding Punches. That's insane, it was doing 7 and 8k on some of the crits. At this point, to win this battle would be a small miracle. And not only that, he kills my agent with a 1-mile punch. So now it's just down to the Horsemen of Death, and they have a lot of health left. Their agent wastes his turn by using a Blackest Void, and there's no one for me to hit, so it won't affect me. Then the Juggernaut's almost taken out due to dots, but he's still alive, just barely. So let's see what he does to our Iceman. First off, he attacks with a Mountain Crusher, but we do dodge it. So I can't complain, we did get one lucky break, and then we actually follow it up with a Snowball's Chance. And that's pretty appropriate because that's exactly what we have in this fight. Now I'm using Ninth Circle just to go ahead and put Doom and Despair on their agent. And I do believe Quicksilver's going to die to dots. It's not just me versus their agent. My Iceman is very low on health, but he does come back from the dead. So it's just a question of can I outlast their agent. They use the Improbability Field, but we do have Despair on them. So on my turn I'm really not sure what to use. If only they were below 30% health. We see that they have a ton of buffs, but at the very least they won't be regenning any health. I probably should use our level 1, but it's not going to do that much damage. And I think I'm just going to go with our level 6. Unfortunately he dodges every bit of the attack. Dead of Winter does pop up, and we regain some health, and now it's their turn. Now dots almost finish off their agent, but he manages to hang on. He hits us with a Savant Spear, but we once again gain Dead of Winter. Then we do counter because of Death and Taxes, and we finish them off, winning the match. And that's how this one's going to end. I really hope you enjoyed the episode, and I want to thank you all for watching. Until next time, good luck, and take care.